Death Valley is the hottest place on Earth. The hottest temperature ever recorded was 134 degrees in 1913, and that was right here at Furnace Creek. It's also the driest place in North America. We get about 1.9 inches of rain per year. The last two summers, 2016 and then 2017, have both been the all-time hottest summers in history. Not the individual hottest temperature recorded, but just consistently hotter day and night. Particularly the overnight temperatures have just gone up and up. We now have several nights a year where it does not go below 100 degrees at night, and this is the only place on Earth where that happens. I mean, talking about the climate changing here, what we're seeing, besides slightly warmer temperatures, which, frankly, what's the difference between 120 and 119? Well, to you and me, it's just hot. Plants that are so carefully adapted to these climates and temperatures in the wildlife are significantly affected and are migrating to other parks. So you can already see some changes happening like that. If you're familiar with Joshua Tree National Park, likely because of a warming climate, they're struggling. The Joshua trees are struggling to reproduce in Joshua Tree, whereas the Joshua trees in Death Valley, farther north, higher elevations, are thriving where they haven't in the past. There are probably a lot of species that are being impacted. One of the ones that I'm particularly interested in here are the native desert bighorn sheep. Right now they're being heavily impacted and displaced by burgeoning feral burrow population. As the climate changes, it can impact the hydrology, which means the springs are changing. They've recently detected a type of pneumonia in the sheep population in the Mojave Desert south of here, which has had devastating impacts on the populations in Utah. It's hard to say exactly what causes them, but the sheep have been here for a long, long time, and now all of a sudden they're sick and they've been displaced from their water sources by burrows, and these things are happening, and it definitely makes you wonder, what's the cause? And then the other thing that we've seen over the last 3 years are stronger storms and more storms. October of 2015, we had massive park-wide flash flooding that did whole bunches of damage. Roads have been impacted, and just seeing more and more and more impacting storms, whereas in the past the rain would have been gentler. The total amount of rainfall hasn't changed significantly. It just comes harder and faster than it has in the past. And Death Valley is a really good place to see, some of the impacts with that. If you want to know what New York City is going to be like in 20 years, come hang out in Death Valley for a while.